How's everyone doing this evening? Back again with another video for you guys. And tonight what I have for everyone is my full review of the Newdery 5000 milliamp hour battery case for the LG G6. Y'all know how the story goes. I use these products so I feel like I have an understanding of the things I want to talk about with you guys, and then it's full review time. Now, jumping right in, the first things I want to talk to you guys about is the overall build quality and design of this battery case here. Talking about the design, let's start there. From a design wise, I really do like what Newdery did here. I like the combination of plastic and grippy rubber materials. It feels good in the hands, and it again provides a nice grippy texture to hold on to. Alright, now from a build quality standpoint, however, I have to say that overall, in terms of build quality, I have to say it's just okay. And the reason why it's just okay and not good or great is that from time to time I do notice that there's some strange creaking coming from the sides. Even though the case is firmly clipped on and clipped together, there's still some strange creaking coming from the sides. Alright, so that is why from a build quality standpoint it's just okay. Again, from a design standpoint, it's good. The combination of the plastics and grippy textures adds an overall solid feel in the hand, and because it's very grippy, I don't feel like I'm going to drop it, which is a stark difference from just using the phone itself without a case. Everybody knows that the glass and metal design of the G6 without a case is a slippery beast. So the inclusion of the grippy materials on this case here, it just makes it that much better. Alright? Now, moving on now, I just want to talk about some of the core features that this case offers. One, it offers, again, that 5000 milliamp hour battery, which, spoiler, is definitely going to give you enough battery life to get through the day with heavy usage. But we're going to cover that in more detail in a little bit here. Another feature is that this case provides maximum protection. Okay? Now, y'all saw in the unboxing that it also comes with a tempered glass screen protector as well. Now, sadly, I got to report to you guys that I did break that tempered glass screen protector. You guys know your boy is not too good when it comes to installing these things. But because I did say I would try and install it for you guys, I did try and install it, and I got it installed. But then when I went to put the cover back on the case, it pressed down and it actually started lifting up the tempered glass screen protector. And I'm thinking, okay, I can still use it like that. But over time, it just got annoying. Annoying enough to the point where I had to take the cover off and try to realign the tempered glass screen protector so the sides weren't rubbing. Now, in the process of doing that, I actually ended up cracking the tempered glass screen protector. If you guys want to see how bad the crack actually was, please be sure to check out my Instagram profile where I did post a pic of that cracked screen protector. Hashtag another one. So, that again is another core feature, however, is that maximum protection. And along with that maximum protection, you still have cutouts for all of your ports. So you got your USB Type-C, you got all your buttons, and they are still very tactile and clicky. Got cutouts for your headphone jack and microphone, so on and so forth. You got cutouts for your cameras and your fingerprint sensor. Now I apologize guys, because it's black, it doesn't show up too well on camera, but you still got all those cutouts there, so it's real nice. Now, Another thing that I think is a feature of the case is that they redirected the bottom firing speaker to fire out the front. And this really does make a world of difference. It sounds really, really good. Whereas the G6 speaker sounded good before, but it was easy to muffle, now you can't really muffle it, and it also provides a place for you now to hold your hands, which also, again, won't muffle the sound. So that's a really, really good feature there. And you know, that pretty much covers all of the features of this case. Oh, I almost forgot one. Also, because you have that maximum protection, and you guys can see that there is a slight raise to the case. So, if you want to put your phone face down, you're not actually touching the screen of your phone. And vice versa, if you want to put it flat down, the camera is not rubbing, so you eliminate the possibility of potentially scratching the camera lenses. The screen protector is not rubbing, so again, you eliminate the possibility of potentially scratching that fingerprint sensor or maybe damaging it. So that's really, really nice. So that pretty much covers all of the features of this battery case. Now, moving on, I just want to talk about the battery life and overall charge times. First, we're going to talk about the overall charge times of the case itself and how you can see or know what the overall battery life remaining on the case is. And then we're going to talk about the overall battery life and charge times of the device with the case installed. So, starting off, when we talk about the overall charge times of just the case itself, now, from 0 to full, if you run the case all the way down, it's going to take you anywhere from about 3.5 to 4 hours to reach a full charge on the case. Alright? Now keep in mind, that's only if you run it down to completely empty. Alright? That being said, the case itself, with the addition of that 5,000 milliamp hour battery, should be more than enough again to get you through a full day of heavy use. You're going to see some really, really good numbers there. Also, I want to point out before I go into how you know how much charge is left in the battery, the manufacturer of the case also strongly recommends that you use the OEM cable that came with your G6, because they say using a cable that's not the stock OEM version may potentially damage the battery. So I did want to toss that one out there. Now, the ways that you could tell how much battery the case has left is this light indicator back here. So let's flip it on. Now you see this white light? That indicates that this case has a full charge. When the light turns dark blue or green, green is the next one down, green indicates that it has anywhere from about 75% charge to 50% charge. Stepping down further, blue, dark blue, indicates that it has 50% charge to about 25% charge. And if you see a dark red light indicator, that indicates that it has anywhere from about a 25% charge left to a 1% charge. When you see a red flashing light, that means that you need to charge the case because it's about to die. So there is that. Now I say white, but in reality, even though it's coming across as white on the camera here, in reality when I look at it, it kind of looks like an offbeat teal, but we'll call it white because that's what they call it in the user manual. So just wanted to point that out. Now let's go over the overall charge times and overall battery life of my device, the G6, using the battery case. Now, I've ran 3 different scenarios with 3 different differentiating factors here. You guys know, in general, when I test smartphones and it comes to the battery life, I usually run 3 different tests. I do a 10% to 100 charge time test, I do a 15% to 100 charge time test, and I do a 20% to 100 charge time test. I did the same thing here, but I also added some differentiation here. I did 10% to 50 and got those charge times, and I also did 10% to 75% and got those charge times, along with 15% to 50 and 15% to 75 and 20% to 50 and 20% to 75. Now, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell y'all right now before I show y'all the numbers. These numbers may differentiate as you see them, but keep in mind I did not change the way at which I use the device at any time. The only difference to the results is that I had the battery case turned on and charging the device. Other than that, I used it as I would normally would have. So I had my data constantly syncing, I had Wi-Fi on, I had Bluetooth on, I was toggling on and off my location, I was toggling on and off Bluetooth, I was snapping a lot of photos, taking a lot of videos, browsing the web, a lot of YouTube, so on and so forth. Again, as I said, the only differentiating factor is that when I needed to, I turned on the case so I could charge my device. Other than that, I used the phone exactly how I would have if there was no case on it. And with that being said, I found that, and I'm going to show y'all the numbers in a second here, I found that the best point to charge your device with this case is in the 20% range. In particular, anywhere from 20% to 50%. Not only did that charge the fastest, but I found that it also increased the overall battery life in terms of screen on time from about 3 to 4 additional hours of screen on time. So I just want to throw that one out there. Now you guys may find something different if you guys decide to pick this up and use it for yourself. Keep in mind, everybody's results may vary because we all use our devices differently. Now, let's get into some of these numbers, guys. So, again, as I said, starting off here, let me get to it. Alright, where you at? So, starting off here, as I said, the initial tests were ran in the 200 scenario. So you can see I did 10% to 100 multiple times, and it usually took anywhere from about 2 hours to just over 2 hours. So right here you can see it took 2 hours and 16 minutes. And that was pretty much on par. Now I've done these tests about 2 to 3 times. Okay? So now switching over to the 15% to 100, you can see it's more of the same. It took a little bit under 2 hours. In particular with this one here, took just under 2 hours at 1 hour and 59 minutes. Okay? Now, let me, wrong way. I wish there was a way to organize this in the G6, but there's not. I wish there was like a sorting function in the gallery once you made your folder, but there's not. But I digress. Right here you can see this is the 20% to 100, and again it pretty much landed about the same place as the 15% to 100, and you can see it's slightly better than the 10% to 100. So on average, regardless of where you plug in your device at, if you're charging from 10%, 15%, or 20% to 100, on average, it's going to take you about 2 hours. Okay? Now, this is where I want to jump into what I was talking to you guys about. In particular, let's change to the 10% to 50. And you can see, I ran this test a bunch of times. And you can see, when I charged from 10% to 50, the charge times drastically decreased. So in particular, it was taking about 50 to 55 minutes. And you can see that, guys, was enough to give me, again, an additional 3 to 4 hours of screen on time, which is pretty good. And you can see that's not a bad charge time. 40% in 50 minutes, that's not bad at all. So, yeah. And again, now, this is where I say you may see some differentiation, because keep in mind, I just kept all my stuff going. All I did was turn on and off the battery, the battery case where I see fit. So you can see that there's a drastic charge time difference between 10% to 50 and 15% to 50. So you can see, in particular, when I did the 15% to 50 charges, it was taking me about a little bit over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. You can see this particular one took me an hour and 26 minutes. Okay? Now, moving on, let's go to the 20s here. You can see that with the 20s, this is where I actually got the best results. So on average, when I charged from 20% to 50, it was usually taking about 40 to 47 minutes. So that's really, really good. And again, that additional charge was enough to give me, again, another 3 to 4 hours of screen on time. Now, I say screen on time because that's really what I care about at the end of the day. Now, the overall battery life was great, and trust me, I easily made it through a full day. But really what matters to me is the amount of time I could spend actually using my device the way I want to. Alright? And you can see these results changed slightly, but were pretty much the same whether I use 20 to 75%. You can see a little bit over an hour, close to an hour and a half. And let's see, 15 to 75%, about an hour and 5 minutes. And let's see here, 10 to 75%, a little bit over an hour and a half. So this is where I say, if you're going to charge with this case, I would recommend that you charge to the 50s. And for the best results, you want to probably charge from 20% to 50%. So that pretty much covers the overall battery life and the charge times of the battery case here. Alright? Now, let's keep it moving. Up next now, I just want to highlight some positives and some negatives of the battery case. Now, let's start off with the negatives. Okay? Turn the screen off here. Alright. Now, the negatives are pretty straightforward. Again, the build quality could have been much better. The charge times for the battery case, now I know it's a big battery and you know it's going to take some time to charge, but I do feel that it could have charged a little bit faster. Okay? What else? And the case itself is a fingerprint magnet. Now, I understand, okay, I got extra grip, so I shouldn't really complain if I got to deal with the fingerprints, but it is a negative because you see this? You can see them fingerprint smudges everywhere. So, that's another negative in my book. Now, let's move on to the positives. That pretty much does it for all the negatives. Now, positives. You got the addition of that 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the sky, which again is going to give you more than enough battery life if you combine the usage of both batteries. So let's say you run the internal battery down to about 20%, then you turn on the battery case here and let it charge while you continue to use your device. Then you're going to get a full day of heavy beast mode usage, if not more, depending on your usage style. So that's a very good positive there. As well as you have maximum protection with this case. So you got maximum protection on the sides, on the top, on the bottom, what have you. And keep in mind there is the addition of the tempered glass screen protector, so you're pretty much covered on all fronts. And keep in mind that the case itself does raise the device ever so slightly, so when you're putting your device down flat on the surface, you're not actually making contact with the display. And the same can be said with the rear. When you're putting your device down flat on the surface, you're not making contact with the camera lenses or the fingerprint sensor. So that really is a really nice set of positives there. And again, keep in mind, because the case is relocating the speaker to the front, now you're getting some nice front firing sound, which makes the speaker sound even better, and it's more difficult to muffle. And it does give you a nice spot to rest your hands when you're consuming media. Keep in mind, you don't have to worry about covering this one up, because this one is just for the built-in mic. So when you're making a phone call or interacting with Google Now voice commands or what have you, just make sure you move your finger to the center. But when you're watching media or listening to music, as long as you don't cover up that one, because the speakers on this side, you shouldn't have any problems. Okay? So that pretty much wraps it up for the positives and the negatives. Now let's move on and let's talk about the final part of this review, which is the price. Now first, I just want to take a second again to thank Newdery for giving me the opportunity to review this case here. I really do appreciate it, and I know you guys heard me say this before. I really do appreciate it when companies take the time to reach out to smaller YouTube channels like myself and give me the chance and other YouTubers the chance to review some of their products and give our unbiased and straightforward opinions. I really do appreciate that, and you guys know that I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't able to give my honest and unbiased opinions. I really do think that's important. Alright, so I just wanted to throw that in there. So thanks again, Newdery, for making this video possible. Now, let's talk about the price. Now, you can pick this guy up via Amazon or eBay for about $60 after taxes. Keep in mind, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you get that free 2-day shipping. So you don't have to factor in handling. But if you don't, you do have to factor in shipping as well as handling. So keep that in mind. But you guys are probably wondering, for $60, can I recommend that you guys pick up this case? And I would have to say yes. If you could deal with the shortcomings of this case, I think the benefits outweigh the problems, so to speak, or the pros outweigh the cons. If you want enough battery life to make it through the day on super heavy beast mode status, and you want maximum protection on your device, then this is a definite pickup. Okay? So, again, that does it for my full review of the Newdery LG G6 5000 milliamp hour battery case. If you guys and gals enjoyed the video, please help your boy out by giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more raw, uncut content like this, please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you get notified when I post new videos. If watching this video has intrigued you and maybe you want to pick up this case and see how it performs for yourself, please be sure to check out the video description, which will have the links to where you guys can buy this at some really good prices. So if you're interested, click the description. It's like a one-stop shop down there. You should be good to go. Alright? And as always, if y'all know anyone out there looking for some high quality, affordable devices and products at some really great prices, please share with them my channel, because I'm doing this for everyone, because we all deserve the best. Alright everyone, I hope everyone has a good evening, and I will catch you guys and gals in my next video. Peace. Let your boy get the lighting right for the thumbnail. Bam! We in there.